Welcome, everybody, to Pinfalls and Passports. For those who don't already know, this is a podcast for people just like you. Those who love the sport of professional wrestling and for members of our WWE Travel Community Discord server. If you're not a member yet, come join one of the fastest growing pro wrestling communities online. You can find the Discord invite link here in the podcast bio. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Pinfalls and Passports, on X at Pinfalls and Pass, and on TikTok at Pinfalls_. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to this podcast to keep up to date with all the things involving the world of professional wrestling. My name is Mira. This is Pinfalls and Passports. And joining me today is Dork Shop. And we've been on a little vacation hiatus. So we got a lot of catching up to do. So we'll see.
Yeah, we do.
We'll see
Regrettably,
how this
Danny's
goes.
on assignment tonight.
Of course. I mean, when is he isn't on a
He busy.
He busy. He got big boy work. But no fear.
A programming note for those of you that were expecting the roast of Dork Shop, we're moving that to another time.
Okay. Yes. But we have a lot to discuss in the world of WWE, TKO, AEW. There's a lot that's happening. So,
Heck, even AAA.
and especially AAA. I'm locked in for them weekly. I can't really say that for a lot of other things, but yes, AAA is on the up and up.
Yeah. We've been quite busy ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a cruise, right?
Yeah, I came back from vacation. What was it, last Thursday, Friday? It was really nice. A nice TLC to get away and just not be on my phone and just be in the sun. So that was a lot of fun. Came back, cried because I knew I was going to have to go back to work on Monday. And work hasn't been too horrible this week. I'm kind of just like looking forward to August now for All In and trying to make some moves for Triple Mania Night 2. A lot of people in the server are going to Triple Mania Night 2. So I did have a ticket, but now I'm looking for 2 tickets. I just sold my 1 ticket I had, but I'm looking for 2 tickets possibly. So we're going to see if I can make it. But if not, it is what it is. But no, I'm super excited. How has the last 3.5 weeks been? You had a birthday, high school reunion and stuff. So.
Well, I spent most of that high school reunion plugging this podcast, and they're going to roast me.
That's okay. That's fine. That's acceptable.
Yeah, but I was getting the word out there. We back up. You know, not only that, just catching up on just holy crap. I've been out of high school for 30 years. Yeah, some of you aren't even 30 years as you listen to this. Yeah.
He coming at me, y'all, because I'm 28. So he's like,
totally coming at you. Just
that's a little bit.
But no, I've been. My sister threw me a seafood boil for my birthday dinner. I mean, you should have seen the lobsters we got. These things were humongous. They were like 3 pounds each, and they had claws the size of my head. I mean, for those of you that have never met me, I have a large head. These were big ass claws. These were huge.
A seafood boil on your birthday. Actually, I had something similar. So for my birthday, we did like the brunch and stuff and all that. That was fun. But the day after for Double or Nothing, my girlfriend showed up with 2 pounds of steamed shrimp and a dozen of blue crabs already seasoned. And I dug in for my birthday. And I was just living like a pig in shit. I was fucking up them crabs. So.
Yeah. Although I will say, when I went to pull the tail meat out, there was like, this green stuff, I guess it's the lobster's intestines, but it has like a green glow to it, and it's like, ew. It just doesn't look right. But it was great to kick back, relax, and enjoy some time with the fam, and break in the new car on a road trip.
That's right, you did get a new car.
Same as the old one, just a different color, and a couple of years younger.
It's red, right? It's red.
Yeah, it's habanero orange.
Habanero orange. Okay.
Yes, it was a lovely car, and it performed admirably on the road trip north. I almost joined Tommy Boy for a little Beyond Wrestling in Cranston, Rhode Island, but that was the same time that my sister was throwing the seafood boil, so it would have been hilarious. I'd have brought her to the
wrestling show.
Yeah, and then they would have been like, "So this is what you guys do all the time?" Huh.
Yes. Exactly
Yes, it
that.
is. Yeah, because there were a lot of AEW talents. MJF was supposed to appear that night, but he
Mhm.
hyperextended his knee.
I think the
Um,
match with Roosh or something, and we'll get into
yeah,
that. Yep,
exactly,
yep, yep.
exactly. So instead, they got Andrade.
Good enough. He probably wasn't in no pants, knowing him, so.
Given the weather we've been having up here, I would assume he would be I'd be, like, right there with him, wrestling shorts. Yeah, but it's been a good few weeks, ready to get back into the grind and, ready to jump, right into some WWE content.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so what we got? We got Clash in Italy that occurred in Turin, May 31st, and the results were pretty predictable for most matches. I feel like the standout one is that Sol Ruka did defeat Becky Lynch to become the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. So
That's
that was
awesome.
awesome. This is her first major title on the main roster, so you know they have a lot of faith in her.
Mhm.
And didn't take long either. So that was awesome to see there. And then another big match that was on the card as Brock Lesnar and Oba. So now they're tied 1-1.
I don't care that it
So
took 7 F5s to beat Obafemi. I just care that you had Brock Lesnar beating Obafemi. I'm like, "Come on." At some point, you just when is a retirement moment not a retirement moment, you know? I mean, did
but
he have
now I'm
appearances
like,
left on his contract or something?
I think they wanted to still utilize him, and I think they were like, "Well, you got X amount of time," and I think that 3rd match with Oba might be the retirement match potentially. I don't
It
know unless
better
they
be.
go the Gunther route. Who really knows
Maybe.
there? But then we had Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, and I swore Gunther was gonna win that belt in the international crowd. Swore it. Swore it up and down. I was so confident. I put it on my pool. I said, "Yeah, I think he's gonna beat him. I think he's gonna put him to sleep." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was very confident in that. But Cody Raheem Rhodes
Oh,
defies
Darius.
the odds. Exactly. And he defies the odds and defeats Gunther. But I heard it was a controversial win, if that's correct.
Yeah, because look, Gunther had his leg under the rope while the three
That's
was
right.
being
That's right. That's
counted.
right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
The
That's right. I
lazy
did see
bastard
that.
couldn't be bothered to kick out, so he relied on that and the referee's poor vision. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is there. Kind of a lazy way out to get to a rematch. I don't even know if they're gonna have a stipulation attached or whatever, but I do know that they have announced that Cody and Gunther will have their one-on-one rematch on June 19th.
On
Yeah,
SmackDown?
on SmackDown. Probably because 'cause they're gonna do a triple threat with Sammy at Night of Champions, but oh, I saw that eye roll. I felt it from here.
Okay. Okay. Then we have Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill, which was probably one of Jade's best matches to date. I did watch that. But Rhea Ripley does retain. And yeah. But I think Jade is still after this belt, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. I mean,
Yeah.
forgive me, we have not been we've been kinda on vacation and visiting with families that we're getting caught up here too, folks.
Yeah, but I believe Jade is probably still on that chase, or she might be at the back of the line. But right now, I know the main focus for them is Queen and King of the Ring. But Rhea does defeat Jade in that, and then and then Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu in that tribal combat match, which was insane because that I did watch. I went on YouTube while I was on my cruise, and I wanted to see the highlights of that, and I did see it, and that shit. I said, okay. Y'all got me.
I was a little surprised that there was no outside interference and that,
It couldn't
um,
be. It couldn't be. Mm-mm.
when has that ever stopped Drew McIntyre?
I mean, yes, but like, with it being tribal combat and it being Roman and Jacob, for Jay, Jimmy, Solo, any of them to interfere, it would cause the higher council to come in because it's like you're interrupting this. It's not like when it was Cody Rhodes in that match there, because that's like family protects family type of shit. But with this, it's like this is the family business. This is our family. Like there's no need to interfere. But I do see it coming down the line somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone not listening to that or someone not abiding by that and causing mayhem.
Yeah.
Wonder who that could be. Mm.
Causing mayhem. But yeah, no, Clash in Italy was a really good show from everything I gathered on in reading up on it, and like I saw a couple of clips here and there, but it really kind of got the ball rolling for the King and Queen of the Ring tournament, which will culminate at Night of Champions with winners receiving title matches at SummerSlam.
Now, I guess we can do the women's bracket. So I can, yeah. So for the Queen of the Ring, we have Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Roxanne Perez, Julia, Lash Legend, Raquel Rodriguez, Bailey, JC Jane, Kiana James, Sol Ruka, Lyra Valkyria, Charlotte Flair, and Jade Cargill. They are all participating in the Queen of the Ring tournament. But we now know three, three out of four of those going to the semifinals. Liv Morgan is going to the semifinals. Io Sky and Raquel Rodriguez are going to the semifinals. Liv's opponent is to be determined, and that is the match between Sol Ruka, Lyra Valkyria, Charlotte Flair, and Jade Cargill. This was lazy booking because why is it four fatal four ways? But
In tournaments, no less.
in a tournament, exactly. And I'm just like, that's kind of lazy. Like they did, they didn't plan for the King and Queen of the Ring with enough time to do a proper tournament fashion.
No,
Especially having that many participants, like you didn't plan that time out. Like they could have started these matches at Saturday night's main event that passed on May 23rd, or they
mhm,
could have started it on the Raw after the Saturday night main event, but they did not. I digress. And then
reel it
for
in.
our king, for then our king of the ring, we have Obafemi, Penta, Solo Sikoa, Carmelo Hayes, Dominic Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, Damian Priest, Javon Evans, Seth Rollins, Talatonga, Ricky Saints, Jay Uso, LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor. They are all participating in the men's King of the Ring tournament for 2026. We
Yep.
know that Obafemi, Dominic Mysterio, and Javon Evans are advancing to the semifinals. The last fatal four-way match that needs to occur is Jay Uso, LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor. My pick to win this match would be Finn Balor, in my opinion. I think he has been working his ass off this year. If you wanted to do a payoff, a long-term payoff to get LA Knight to the semifinals, great. But my pick would be Finn Balor.
I mean, at this rate, who cares? Because we all know that Oba is going to win King of the Ring.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
I mean, who among those that are left would you see as a competent King of the Ring? Because I mean, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Royce Keys, Finn Balor, Javon Evans, or Dominic Mysterio don't scream King of the Ring, in my opinion.
I think they put Oba in a stick right now. They fucked Oba so bad, in my opinion. I'm not saying Oba can't be the king of the ring, but when I look at past king of the ring winners, I think of like William Regal. He's very versatile in the ring. Like he's charismatic, he's technical, he's and I see a king of the ring winner being someone like a Finn Balor. If you want to get technical. However, Oba makes sense. I just think they put in too much too fast. They put too much dip on his chip.
Yeah, yeah. And not only that, but he still got the rivalry with Brock Lesnar to wrap up.
Yeah, and I'm like, are we going to do the Oba? Like, okay, if he wins, which is fine if he does. I don't have any problem with him winning. I just am like, okay, if he wins, are y'all giving him the belt? Because if you're giving
Yeah,
him the belt, cool. That means he has an entire Raw roster to go through, right?
yeah.
Or is he going to lose to Roman because of something that Brock does?
See, that's why I'm hoping because we have a Saturday night's main event in New York City on July 18th.
Right?
Then we bury this Brock Oba thing once and for all there, and then he moves on to SummerSlam 2 weeks later to challenge Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but that wouldn't stop Petty Brock from interfering.
Right, and that's why I'm like,
A ref
damn.
bump. Because I'm like, I really don't want Oba not to win his first title.
Yeah, and so and then, I mean, is he gonna screw? Brock's getting involved in Oba's business at some point.
Yeah. If they don't end or get to him beating Brock or Brock beating him to end this or however they want to do it, I can see that being like a tunnel way. Okay, he either helps Oba win or he helps Oba lose, and then you get to that third match. Or if he helps Oba win, then you have a title as like a part of the match. And then are we putting a title on Brock in the big old 2026?
No, I just yeah, there's a lot of, like, confounding decisions that have been made so far with the King of the
Right.
Ring tournament by the WWE creative team that I'm just
Mhm.
sitting here like,
Lack of
"Where are we
creation.
going?"
But I don't know. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna watch. Hopefully, Night of Champions does deliver. I'm really hoping it does. I know it'll be an
Yep.
earlier show since it's overseas. So I'm like, all right, cool. But I don't know. I just feel like one, they rushed this tournament.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like, wow, like you didn't have to rush this. Like you didn't really have to. Like you had time a little bit if you started it again a couple weeks earlier. And then with Oba, okay, you're gonna give him the torch. That's fine. Give him the fucking torch and let him run with it. But you can't put him in these baby shit ass feuds and have him just squash these locals and squash, other talent. I feel like he needs, if you're gonna make him a competitor, you have to give him solid people. Him and Javon went at it at NXT, you know? Him and Trick went at it at NXT multiple times.
Yep.
Carmelo, I don't believe so, but like this is his first time being on the main roster with big stars like Seth Rollins and Roman. Why are we so scared?
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing that I was of I had heard rumors that we were building towards Seth versus Roman at SummerSlam, or if not
Right?
at SummerSlam, WrestleMania. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, does this mean that Roman is going to continue to be champion all the way to WrestleMania? Please God, no. Or does this mean he's losing the belt at SummerSlam? It's I guess I'm overthinking it in a bad way.
I wouldn't mind Roman being champion still. But again, you're going to need to make sure that Oba's not left to the wayside. He doesn't need a championship. But like even if he's in the bout for the championship or he's always a contender or some other big guy comes up. Let's say what's his name? Keanu. Let's say Keanu magically gets called up really fast. I don't believe it. But like you could have them beef it out a little bit. But I'm just like he's such a super heavyweight and they presented him in such a fashion that's like he's the ruler. He's
Yeah.
he's the beginning and end, and like you can't do that to him so early in in his career and him not keep pushing. And I feel like the crowd would still be behind him even if he lost, but he kind of loses that momentum. I feel like even with the loss that happened at Clash in Italy, he could potentially lose some momentum, but he
Yeah.
did advance, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's the thing is I think if you want him to be hot or stay hot, you've got to have him keep winning, and then that means
Hmm.
eventually he's gonna butt heads with Brock. And I just I feel like we could have left it at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Brock and Oba was fine where it was left at WrestleMania.
And if you wanted to pick it up, do it after the King of the Ring.
Oh, after well, even after SummerSlam when Oba
Yep.
potentially had the belt.
That's what I'm
It's
saying. I'm like, Brock could have came out just like he did last SummerSlam on night two or whatever the night is going to be on. And yeah, but we'll see how this plays out. But some
I
Raw
guess we
and
just gotta sit back
SmackDown,
and watch, yeah.
yeah, we gotta sit back and let this one play out. Cause I want this to be well, but I just don't know what the creative and what TKO and all of them are going to ultimately decide. And I'm really having a hard time locking in, and I need them to lock the fuck in so I can watch.
Mhm. Yeah.
I need them to put pen to paper so I can be locked in. Like it's really hard to sit there and be like, I'm gonna take 3 hours out of my day to watch this product when percent of it is ads. In all honesty,
Yeah, what isn't ads is usually ass.
you said it, not me. So that's why I'm like, I'm looking forward to watching this week's past Raw just to see like the atmosphere and the crowd and even the stars is like their attitude about things. Because sometimes you
Mhm.
can read the body language of some of them. So you're like, okay. So I'm gonna give it a chance. But our Raw and SmackDown story highlights. So on Raw, following Jacob's loss to Roman at Clash in Italy, Jacob has acknowledged Roman Reigns as his tribal chief. And he made it clear to Jimmy and Jay that he only answers to Roman and not them, which
Yeah.
that'll play a whole other thing. And staying on Bloodline Revived, I did hear that Mr. Zillafatu has been spotted at the PC recently.
Oh
And
boy.
I don't know what's going to come of it, but if you don't know, when Jacob was on the indie scene, him and Zilla were very close. I believe they still are, and they tagged together for some time. So if it was ever any issues and they were like, it's time, let's pull it, let's bring them in. This summer or this fall, this winter would be the greatest time for him to prepare, get himself, you know, familiar with WWE protocols and standards and things like that, just to
Yeah.
get him up to date right before WrestleMania, season for next year, if that is the case we want to go down.
Well, yeah, and then not only that, but I mean, you look at it, you've got Roman, Jay, Jimmy, and Jacob on one side, you've got Solo, Tala, and
Hmm.
Tala on the other. I mean, War Games writes itself here, folks.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, so we'll see. But that's the Bloodline 2.0, Bloodline Revived. And then Seth did make it clear that he planned to win the King of the Ring. He did not advance, but he's saying that Roman's title is his and he is claiming it. And I'm like, buddy, well, one, you lost. So I don't know how we're gonna get back there. But you already know the end game for Roman is Seth, and they just complete each other at the end of the day. So we know it's gonna get around there. We know that's gonna happen. We just don't know if it'll be at a Saturday night main event or another PLE or a Money in the Bank, anything like that. We don't know, but it's
You got to do
definitely
it.
going to happen. It's
You got
definitely going to happen.
Seth Roman's something that happens at a big four. It doesn't happen at all.
Yes. So I'm like, it got to be at one of those big four, or if they do decide to do it this year, what show would that be? The only thing you really have left would be SummerSlam, which is supposed to be King of the Ring, and he did not advance. And then you
Well,
have
that
Survivor
depends on
Series.
who does the King of the Ring choose to challenge.
That is true too. That is true too.
Yeah,
That is
we've been
very
like
true.
locked in on. Well, they have to challenge Roman, and say, oh yeah, there's Cody.
Well, I'm thinking Cody has his feud with Sami Zayn right now, and Gunther, and I'm just like, we have to revive that. So that's why I'm like, Finn Balor would be a great choice. Boom, it writes itself. He's on SmackDown
Oh yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah, we could go there. Yeah.
there, but I know it's not gonna happen.
Can you? Are you kidding me? Finn Balor, King of the Ring? Come on, no.
Please, I
I'm
did
not
that for
gonna.
you, brother. I did that for you. I'm having hope. I think Finn gets something this year. He's in phenomenal shape. He moves like he's 22 years old. I don't understand here. You got some people that can't move at all in the ring, get belt opportunities, at least Finn shows up on a weekly basis.
He does. He does.
I'm just
And
like,
maybe he actually gets a win in a title match.
me,
Okay,
listen,
let's not get carried away here, dork.
look, I'm just very optimistic. Like with the roster being like shook up a little bit, it adds different layers and variations to like what could happen. So I'm 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 intrigued to see how this summer is going to go. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
LA Knight accuses Adam Pearce that he's
Oh God.
aligning with Roman Reigns.
Yeah. He definitely talks different to them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know where they're going with LA Knight right now.
I don't think LA Knight know where they're going with LA Knight right now.
I think it's to position him as a potential challenger.
Yeah.
I don't think as a big four pay-per-view challenger. So it's gonna have to beat somebody at Night of Champions.
Then
Yeah.
our Intercontinental Champion Penta retained against Ray this past Monday, which I heard
That
was
was
a phenomenal match.
it was.
And then Sol Ruka also successfully defended, excuse me, against Lyra Valkyria on the same night. That match I did not see, but Penta I did. I did see the Penta match. So I'm
Mhm.
excited to watch Raw after this
Yeah.
for the Sol and Lyra.
Yeah. Yeah. But we've got Night of Champions coming up on June 27th in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The King and Queen of the Ring finals will be held. And of course, as we mentioned, winners move on to SummerSlam to challenge champions of their choosing.
Right.
So we're getting into the second biggest show of the year territory here. And gotta ask, you going to Minnesota?
I'll be in London. I'll be in London. I will not be in Minnesota.
Okay.
Are you going to Minnesota?
There's an exploratory committee out there trying to feasibly determine whether or not it's feasibly able to be happening. I said that a lot of things to say, maybe.
Listen, if you do go, you are our eyes on the ground for this one. I'm sitting this one out. Have the people heard that the Money in the Bank pay-per-view has been moved
Again?
to
What?
October? So New
Money in the bank in
Orleans,
October.
so 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 New Orleans was supposed to get this past WrestleMania. WC says, we going back to Vegas. Okay. So in place of Mania, they get Money in the Bank, which typically happens over the summer or right after the summer, which was scheduled for September. They now move into October. What you gonna do? Move it to November next? December?
2027.
And I'm like, I feel like having a Money in the Bank pay-per-view is it's kind of late. But I said maybe they're scratching Extreme Rules, which I think they have already
Yeah.
for that PLE. So I'm like, all right, it could work. It could work. And then the people are bringing the briefcase more than likely into the WrestleMania season. So then it's not, they don't have the belt for the briefcase for too long. But if they decided to cash it in or did a cash in at WrestleMania, it would be kind of fresh on people's mind. I don't know. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I see it. I see it. I don't like it, but I see it.
Yeah. And, like to something to spice up the fall. Because,
Mhm.
after SummerSlam is when it really gets kind of.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I can see why they did it, but I'm like looking at it from like the fan perspective. People already booked hotels, Airbnbs, they got flights, they took
Yeah.
off work. Like, that's not fair to the fans. Like, like you're not accommodating them in any type of way. Like, I know Tommy in in the server, he's scheduled to be going, and I think he has to figure out if he can switch shifts with people. I'm like, y'all have no sense of this. And I get the card is subject to change, think there's set to change, but I'm like, in this economy,
Ah, that was pretty messed up. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, not only that, this is the third time that this show has been moved. Because originally it was supposed to be the night before All In on August 29th.
they knew not
Then
to
they moved
play.
it to September 6th, which okay, fine. And now we're October 10th. What are we gonna do next? Move it to the holiday tour? Jeez.
I mean, what they could do is what they used to do with the Money in the Bank. It doesn't have to have a PLE. Just have it be a match.
At WrestleMania.
Mania. Yeah, just have it be a match at WrestleMania. Then you're starting your season. That's your reset season anyway. That's your Super Bowl. So you already start. But they don't want long events and they can barely let me
TKO
start.
doesn't know what it wants,
They
aside
can
from
barely
money.
they can barely schedule the matches that they had. So
Each.
and
Yeah.
mm,
I mean, it's just there's a lot going on. We have our notes in terms of like what we want to complain about, but it's not to say there hasn't been good wrestling the last few months or the last few weeks out of WWE. It's just there's room for improvement, and we would like to see them make that.
And I think they will. I think with this being SummerSlam season and the Fanatics Fest, and you have Saturday Night Main Event and other things, I think this is going to be when they're on their best track record of having steady good shows and everything else because they have a lot to look forward to, especially June, July, and August.
Yeah, yeah. And then you mentioned Fanatics Fest. That might be another determinant factor in whether or not it go to SummerSlam.
I got you. I got
It's
you.
like, maybe I want to go up on Saturday and meet some people.
Hmm. Oh, before we end this, Triple A, triple
You.
you you Mark Cal Mark Calloway, you know what? You're Booker of the Year. You're Booker of the Year, okay?
Yeah, yeah. He got a 5.75 star match from Dave Meltzer, for God's sakes.
Okay?
Eh,
That feud between the El Grandes, which we now quote unquote know, like we didn't know all this time, was Chad Gable. I think Chad went to Mark. I'm gonna call him his government. I'm not calling him Undertaker. He's not in the hat and he's not in the robe. He's not in any of that. I think Chad went to Mark and was like, "What's gonna be the best way for me to get over once I take off this mask. Right now, at that point, he was able to hide behind the mask. He can soak in the booze and all that stuff. After being revealed, what is the best way? And that's forgiveness, and that's, saying I was wrong and I was trying to make it a mockery. And Chad's an amazing wrestler, but I think by him bringing his family, I felt like that was just like, oh shit, like I was in my room on the cruise and I watched that match and I said,
Yeah.
yeah, this is a beautiful story that they told. Then you had El Grande, who's the real El Grande, the real El Grande Americano,
Yeah.
and the people are soaking him in, and his girlfriend comes from the crowd. It's just like, okay, they told a beautiful story. The
Yeah.
crowd is behind El Grande, so that means Triple Mania. He has a big match coming up potentially.
Triple Mania.
So I'm like, I'm I'm enjoying AAA on a weekly basis because it comes on 10 p.m. I believe on Fridays or right after SmackDown or something. So I tend to watch it like right afterwards or right on Saturday morning. But I'm enjoying watching AAA. I feel like they they have basically been able to get over and gain a lot of American fans. I feel like with this partnership, and I see that WWE is testing Triple Mania being in 2 locations this year, one in Vegas and one in Mexico City. So this is going to be interesting to see because this is something that they probably want to pursue long term with like a Royal Rumble or a WrestleMania or just anything like that. And I think it's a cool concept, but
Yeah.
it kinda for super fans like us that like to travel for these big events, it kind of makes it like, okay, so which one can I realistically do? Because you can't be in 2 places at once. I feel
Nope.
like that's like the only thing that's like kind of like a bummer, but it also helps fans like in the States get a little taste of AAA, which I like. And then it also helps the fans that are true and near in Mexico to get the real deal experience as well of H Triple Mania. So I do like it. It's just more so dang, like as a super fan, thinking about traveling for it, I kinda want to go to both nights. It's kinda impossible.
It's extremely difficult. I wouldn't say impossible, but it's gonna be
Be
really,
difficult.
really difficult.
So
But it's a good problem to have.
yeah,
Yeah.
I give
Um,
him that. I give him that.
I don't know that I'll be making Triple Mania because it'll be 2 weeks after All In. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
My
I'm like,
wallet will be
I'm
recovering.
TBD. That's why I'm like, I'm TBD, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
but we'll see. But yeah, I think that unless we got anything else to get out
I think that's it.
for tonight's WWE side of thing. No? All right. Well, catch us on the next one. We have been Pinballs and Passports.